playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome in, a very happy Wednesday to you now, July the 9th, 2025. I'm Joe Raineri. Certainly appreciate you stopping by on this Wednesday as we've got much going on actually here. A lot of Major League Baseball on tap today as we are T-minus, a little over, 3 weeks away from getting some preseason NFL football. That is correct. It is known as the dog days of summer, but I can assure you, just like nobody can believe we are already 9 days into July of 2025, I can promise you the NFL and college football, yes, it will be back before we know it. But in the meantime, we got some unfinished business to do here. Certainly, as we get ready for the All-Star break in Major League Baseball, a lot of question marks with a lot of teams. Who are the contenders? Who are the pretenders? And how many people do we actually think are capable of maybe running it back and getting it done? I can tell you right now, the Detroit Tigers are a team that a lot of people are very high on. Now, whether Detroit will actually do anything by the trade deadline, which will be at the end of the month, remains to be seen, but the way they keep playing baseball doesn't really seem like they do need to do an awful lot. Now, right now, they are in the bottom of the fifth here as we've had plenty of day baseball already on tap, but they are on top of the Tampa Bay Rays, who have also made some noise over the last couple of months in May and June to put themselves in the conversation. And of course, as you can see, that's a pretty interesting number right there for the Tampa Bay Rays now at 12-1. When you look at Tampa Bay, they did a lot of things very well. It was a rough start. They don't have a ballpark of their own. They play at the Yankee spring training facility in Tampa Bay. They could not win there to save themselves, but right around the middle to the end of May and most of June, they have figured it out. A lot of talent on this team, and that should not be unexpected here. They've always had a great farm system. Kevin Cash and company there have done a great job of bringing guys along. but will they be able to make another run in the second half? That is the big question. Well, right now, it has been all Detroit in this series. These are two teams that a lot of people thought, yeah, it's Detroit, it's Tampa. They'll be, they'll be good. They'll be better than what they were, but they're not going to really contend with, I don't know, the Yankees, are they? Well, they are contending, and they are doing it in a very big way here. So kudos to both of those teams. However, Detroit looking to take another one here right now, up one as they head to the top of the sixth inning in that one. Now, the American League East leader, that would be the New York Toronto Blue Jays, rather. Sorry about that, Yankee fans. Didn't mean to tease you there. The Toronto Blue Jays, well, they had been humming along, 10 straight wins. They got another win last night against the White Sox, even though the rain delay caused them to end that game in the seventh inning. Didn't matter. They were up 6-1 and probably would have just scored more runs anyhow. So 7-1 win, 10 straight wins. Could they make it 11? Lauer going against Adrian Hauser today, and you are not going to believe it, but we ended up getting a pitcher's duel. Can you believe that? One in which the White Sox ended up getting it done here today. So finally, Toronto loses a game right now, which leaves, of course, the opportunity for the Yankees to go ahead and maybe get a little one back there in the win column, and they'll take on Seattle coming up at the top of the hour. Now, a little bit of news here for the Yankees. We learned earlier today they designated DJ LeMahieu for assignment. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with that verbiage, what that means is they opened the door and said, don't let it hit you on the you-know-what on the way out. They basically cut him with about $22 million left on his contract. Now, he has been benched. It has not been good. He's been hurt. We know that. But the end of the DJ LeMahieu era with the New York Yankees is actually over. And he signed with them beginning back in the 2019 season. But again, that's a lot of money that they are going to give LeMahieu not to play baseball for him. He's 36 years old. He might very well catch on with another team when it is all said and done. But he was a good player for a while, but injuries started to catch up with him. And that's ultimately what ended up doing him in. But the Yankees, well, they've got some interesting, they got some injuries, and they've got to figure out what to do here, certainly from a pitching perspective. And they've got their heralded rookie, Cam Schlittler, is going to make his Major League Baseball debut tonight for the Yankees as they get ready to take on the Mariners in Game 2. And, of course, the Yankees demolished Logan Gilbert and Seattle last night. What are they going to do here tonight? Well, they're going to attempt to win 3 straight games for the first time in, nearly a month if they can get it done. But they're going to have to do it with a rookie pitcher on the mound. Now, what choice do they have? Pretty much they've been dropping like flies for the Yankees here. We knew Cole, who was going to be out in the start of the year, was going to miss the season. That was unfortunate. Max Fried and Carlos Rodon have certainly stepped up in the ace role here. Certainly Max Fried. Rodon has been going through it here as of late. But the Yankees, they need to get those bats going, and they need to give their rookie pitcher here tonight, much like last night. They got to go ahead and put some runs on the board, and it would be great if they could do that early and often. It was a 10-3 rout of the Mariners last night, and they did get a little bit of a rain delay last night, which was unfortunate. We're going to see what happens here tonight, because we also learned that Baltimore and the Mets, that game was already postponed here. So welcome to July. The summertime offers you all sorts of possible double headers coming up, and that's exactly what they're going to be looking to do tomorrow with Baltimore and the Mets. And it's actually fortunate for both of those teams, given the fact that the Mets and Baltimore had to pretty much bury their bullpens yesterday in that extra inning win by the New York Mets 7-6. A lot of high leverage arms have been used a lot on both those teams as of late. So maybe a day off isn't the worst thing to happen, but it does look like we'll get a doubleheader of Mets and Baltimore tomorrow. You also have, well, you got the Reds getting ready to, I don't know, do the Reds, are they always this Jekyll and Hyde? Because if you look at their last couple of games, they can't seem to score more than 1 or 2 runs, and they're getting obliterated. And they did again yesterday by the Marlins. However, Abbott, their all-star, recently named all-star pitcher, is taking the mound against former all-star Sandy Alcantara. But is it as easy as the Reds roll tonight? I am not so sure. We'll have much more on this Major League Baseball schedule coming up. We got one WNBA game left to go here tonight, 3 in the books. We got some PGA Tour news, much to get to as Game Time Decisions continues here on the Grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions on this Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Joe Raineri. Plenty of Major League Baseball still to get to here after we've had a couple of results in the books here today. Some early baseball watch. The Dodgers lose again to who? Well, the team that we keep telling you better take them seriously. The Milwaukee Brewers in 10 innings end up handling the Dodgers today 3-2. The Phillies just closed out the Giants and Verlander. 13-0 was the final there. The Phillies finally got it done. We told you the White Sox beat Toronto earlier today 2-1, and the Mets and Baltimore postponed. We're going to get a doubleheader tomorrow. But our favorite friend of the show here, Mark Zinno, in the house, he is here to tell us about how we should absolutely push all the chips in on our New York Yankees and Schlittler here tonight, Zin. And then you're going to tell us how we should push all in and fade the Braves from now until the year 2086. So let's start with the Yankees and the rookie pitcher. Listen, if they keep hitting like they did last night, I'm not worried about the rookie pitcher, although he sounds pretty impressive, what we've seen.
Well, look, this was just purely a price play for me. I mean, the fact that you guys never got a guy who's never thrown a pitch in Major League Baseball, and the Yankees are a minus 160 favorite here, is a ludicrous price on a team that is inconsistent offensively. I know they scored 10 runs last night. I know Logan Evans is starting for Seattle, but I can't get behind the Yankees as a 160 favorite here. I cut the game in half. I took Seattle plus a half run in the first 5, simply because if Cam Schlittler is on and he has the advantage over Seattle, I don't need the last 4 innings to back Seattle here. But this is the best, one of the best road hitting teams in all of baseball. The top 3 in batting average, OPS, and WRC plus on the road, going up against a rookie pitcher here. And the Yankees are laying this number. It just doesn't make sense to me. The line is very, very fishy. Why the Yankees are that heavy of a favorite? If Seattle can get to Schlittler, or how do you say Schlittler? Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
I'll buy a vowel.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
If they can get to him early, they're going to be fine. I get a half run in my pocket. Is there a world where the Yankees are only up 2-1 or 2-0 at the end of 5? Yeah, but I think it's worth a look here for Seattle, one of the best road hitting teams in baseball, to take him here, getting a half run in the first 5.
It's Don't Call Me LeMahieu, I believe, also known as, but we do want to thank DJ for his service since 2019. Yep. Don't let the door hit you into you know what, DJ. So let's talk about this Astros team, because Hunter Brown, listen, there's going to be days like that, right? Hunter Brown just went through it. But you know what? The Astros came back. They had Hader rested, ready to go last night against the Guardians, and he gives up a grand slam in extra innings, and that was the end of that. So do we like Houston to bounce back here tonight, or are the Guardians really on a winning streak now?
I'm willing to lay this kind of juice just situationally because of the spot, and mostly because Slade Ciccone is starting for the Guardians. This is a guy with a 3.56 ERA. Joe's expected ERA is 5.21. That's only 2 runs higher. This guy is bottom 1% in hard hit percentage. He is bottom 1% in exit velo, and he is bottom 5% in Major League Baseball in expected slugging. I know the Astros aren't exactly a great lineup, but situationally here, I get the starter that I want going up against Cleveland. Going for Cleveland up against this Astros lineup. And furthermore, this is a Guardians team against left-handed pitchers on the road over the last month that is bottom 6 in batting average, OPS, and WRC plus. Astros starter lefty tonight in Brandon Walter. So they certainly have a good enough bullpen. As long as Walter gets you through 5 without getting damaged, they should be able to get to Ciccone here and finish this one off.
Yeah, only give up 2 runs, 6 innings back on June 6th against these Guardians, and they don't hit lefties well at all. So I definitely like that play for sure here tonight. Couple of other games that I know you're looking at here, Zin, including, are you really backing the Reds in any way, shape, or form, who can't score more than 1 or 2 runs a game now?
I mean, look, I wanted to take the Reds with Andrew Abbott starting, just straight up. I know Abbott is 7-1. His numbers are great. He was just named to the All-Star team. So it's one of those things where it's like, it feels like it's a perfect time for him to have a blow-up start, right? Like all of a sudden we're an All-Star. Hey, I'm really good. And all of a sudden you find out you're not that good. So I wasn't willing to do that, but I am willing to play against Sandy Alcantara, who's got a 9.41 ERA on the road this year. And after scoring just 3 runs in the first 2 games in this series, I'm thinking that the Reds bats will wake up here against Alcantara. You get a little nervous because they might not be guaranteed that last at bat, but if they struggle to score 3 or 4 runs against Alcantara, guess what? They ain't going to get it later in this game, so it's not really going to matter. But give me the Reds here, team total over 4.5.
I'm sensing some sort of under when we talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know. It just feels like something's going under in this game here, Zin.
Yeah, like a year ago, if you told me I was going to take an under with Bailey Falter and Chris Bubich on the mound, you would have told me I was high as a kite. You probably would have been right. Bubich is having the best season of his career. This is a Pittsburgh team that can hit lefties. They're bottom 3 in batting average and OPS and WRC plus against left-handed pitching on the road this year. So I'm not too worried about Bubich shutting down the Pirates. Is there some concern for Falter against the Royals? Yeah, over the last month since June 1st, this is a team in the top half of the league against left-handed pitching. So, the Royals are also the lowest scoring team at home in Major League Baseball. They busted out for 9 runs in the first game of the series. I don't know that they're going to do that again here. As long as Falter can keep them to 3 runs or less here, I feel like we have a good shot at keeping this thing under 4.5 through the first 5.
Yeah, listen, if it ain't broke, we're trying not to fix it. And your Braves tonight against the Athletics, it feels like just bet the Athletics in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, Acuna's back in the lineup, so I don't think they're going to get destroyed like they got last night, but it is Bryce Elder, so I think the A's are going to be able to score here. I mean, I would probably just look straight to an over. I don't know if the Braves are going to be good again, but right now they're not, so it's hard to back them anyway.
I love the over. I'm with you. 90s tonight in Sacramento with the wind blowing out. Something tells me Bryce Elder might give up a few home runs. Zin, always a pleasure, man. Go Schlittler. It's Schlittler here tonight for the Yankees. We appreciate it. So let's see him pitch first. Then we decide what to call him tomorrow. Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
I say you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school then?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
It'd be like 80 times. It'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tarek Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. It's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions on the SportsGrid Network as we're getting ready for a lot more Major League Baseball here tonight. We've got updates from Wimbledon for you as well coming up. We got PGA Tour news, but let's not forget, it's getting good. It's getting down to the final match here in the Club World Cup, and who better to talk some soccer with than our man, Marcelino Ortiz, who, listen, when this whole tournament first started, your answer to me when I said, give me the crystal ball, who do you like, who's going to win it? You said PSG is going to be very hard to beat. And my goodness, were they hard to beat earlier today. I thought we'd get a little something more out of Real Madrid, but we didn't. And if PSG plays like this against Chelsea, what are we going to get?
This is it. We saw it, we called it. PSG is in the final. For me, it was the most informed team and also the team that had the most momentum, and they proved it. Also, Real Madrid, they ruined my parlay completely. I was hoping for both teams to score. I was hoping for this game to go to overtime, but that was not the case. Real Madrid just didn't have anything left in the tank. It was clear that this team was checked out and ready to go on vacation. And PSG is a team that is on the fast train to legacy. They want to make sure that everybody knows that they are the next powerhouse in Europe, but in front of them, they will have Chelsea, the most surprising team. And another one that I had early flagged out as a candidate for the title. What we see is now the reinforcement of Joao Pedro. This player just joined the team on July 2nd and is scoring goals left and right for the team. They might be the secret weapon that defeats PSG, but the reality is that the odds will be correct and they will be fulfilled, and PSG will be the champions of this tournament.
I love it. You don't think it's even going to be close, but are we going to get multiple goals here? Are both teams going to score, Marcelino? Will it be close at any point? What should we be looking at here in this game?
We have to go on the over on the goals because these two teams are very explosive up ahead. As we saw, they score in bunches. 4 goals against Miami, 4 goals against Real Madrid. And Real Madrid is not an MLS team. This PSG knows how to put the ball behind the net. So the over on goals is a must. Now, we see a couple of players that might get on the scoreboard. Joao Pedro for Chelsea, for sure is going to score. And on PSG, that's hard to tell because so many of them are putting the ball in the net. But my heart is with Dembélé. He will come out in the final playing at a very, very high level.
I cannot wait to see it here. Are you thinking anytime goal scorers here in this as well? Who we focusing our prop bets on?
Joao Pedro from Chelsea. That is the guy that you want to score on individual bets. His rhythm, his presence, and his potency is just too much. I don't think PSG will be able to stop him throughout the whole game. I foresee PSG winning, but Joao Pedro will get himself in the scoreboard.
You like maybe a goal here or maybe 2 here. So where do we go from here, Marcelino, as far as soccer now over the next couple of weeks during the summer here? What are we looking at?
The next big thing in soccer right now, it's on the women's side. We have 2 of the biggest tournaments, Euros. The European Championship is happening right now. 16 teams divided in groups that are also going into the playoffs in the next week. And in the other side of the ocean, we have Copa America, this tournament that is 100 years old now in the female version. And I'm telling you, some high-profile players are going to be in both teams. If you're a fan of the NWSL, you'll see a lot of familiar faces. So I'll be looking at that. In Brazil, it's a big rehearsal for the upcoming World Cup that is in 2027.
I can't wait. And as always, Marcelino, we'll be looking for you and your knowledge here to point us in the right direction to cash a few tickets. Club World Cup, it was a ride, brother. We appreciate the time. As always, look forward to talking to you again as soccer feels like it never sleeps. And I don't think it's going to be sleeping very soon here. So thanks again, Marcelino. We got much more to get to here coming up, though, as we've got plenty of Major League Baseball action, some Major League Baseball news. We got an update from Wimbledon here as we get a little bit closer to both a men's championship and a women's championship to get you caught up on, as the old guy, Novak, still getting it going barely today, but will he have enough to pull down the championship? We'll talk about it all. Another hour of Game Time Decisions next here on The Grid.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend, the young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in GameTime Decisions, off and running another hour on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Certainly appreciate you stopping by as we've got a lot of Major League Baseball getting ready to come up. We got a rookie pitcher in the Bronx tonight with the New York Yankees. I can't remember the last time we've actually seen or been excited about a big-time rookie here for the Yankees. You got to love his name, Schlittler, taking the mound against the one and only Cam Stewart, Seattle Mariners. Welcome in, our good friend Cam Stewart.
44%, but all the power of the regular beer. Schlittler. Get it now.
Oh, that was like drinking
I like
water.
Schlittler. Yeah, exactly. It's like Schlittler. How much water's in Schlittler? Anyway, I don't know how many base on balls we got, Joe, but it sounds pretty watered down. Welcome, Joe. Nice to see you. I like your soccer guy, too. He had the jersey on, ready to go, giving predictions, thinking Chelsea can hang with PSG. Didn't see the 4-0 win today, Joe, but very powerful stuff from the French Giants. But you're right. We got baseball on the diamond tonight, and we got Scottish Open golf, literally. And when we're finishing up tonight on Sports Rage, they'll be teeing off at like 1:50, 2 o'clock in the morning. So we got to get those golf bets in, too. Should be a lot of fun at the Scottish Open.
I am looking very forward to it here, Kim. You had Wimbledon here today as well, a little bit earlier, and kind of a sweat job, but not in the match that we thought. Good old Novak took everything he had to come back against Slavio, but Sinner, we're hearing all these injuries against Shell. Oh, man, he wiped the court with him, man, in 3 sets. Wasn't even close.
That's what we got to stop doing, Joe, or do the opposite. When I hear about a guy, I got some pains and I got lingering injuries and stuff, it's like, I don't want to hear it. The old rope-a-dope routine, like he was perfectly fine and he destroyed the competition. Got to give Novak Djokovic credit, but Joe, now that's the thing. How much did a long game take out of the Joker, despite being one of the best of all time? You know what? More tennis for an old guy equals bad stuff when you're dealing with a guy like Sinner who's long and lean and takes care of business early. But the Joker is plus 180 in a semifinal match. It's something to take a look at. I'm going to have to dig deeper. I did well, but I had Andreeva on the women's side, and she lost to, got to give Belinda Bencic a lot of credit, kind of like a journeywoman who's been always above average, but this is the deepest she's ever gone at Wimbledon, moving to the semifinals. I'll think she's done next match, though, but brilliant performance today.
I love it. All right, you mentioned it. Scottish Open just before, of course, the final major next week, the Open Championship there. There's got to be a Tommy Fleetwood or somewhere on your card. No? I mean,
yes, there is, Joe.
Fading?
Yes, there is. Joe, you basically, why don't you just become like, imagine you were the sports book. You're already writing my picks in. You're taking money on. Cam, we'll give Cam Fleetwood at 16 instead of 25. Mm-hmm. No, I literally got him for a top 10. But we'll start with outrights. Joe, one thing about Colin Morikawa, this guy goes through, caddies the way I go through beer. You know what I mean? He's got a new flavor every week. He's trying new things. Yep. But now he's got a veteran on the bag here. They're going to Scotland. And one thing that Colin Morikawa does well, he can hit all the shots. And that's what you need here. You can play all your clubs. You can get creative. And that's what I think he needs. Remember, he's won an Open Championship before. He likes to play in the fescue. So 28-1, I'm going to take a shot with Colin Morikawa this week. I think that's a great price for a guy that's had a little bit of a season, underachieving. Matthew Fitzpatrick, the Brit, he's a guy that's playing a little bit better lately, and I like him on this track here at the Renaissance Club in Scotland at 40-1. Ryan Fox, all he does is win, Joe. He won the Canadian Open. He's won tournaments before. No respect for the big man from New Zealand at 65-1. And Joe, what would it be? Cameron's breakfast or lunch or dinner, whatever. I'm going to be watching it in the morning with two Danishes. Two Rasmuses, too. Is Rasmus donut in Danish? I don't know, but I got Rasmus Højgaard at 70-1, and I got Rasmus Neergaard Peterson. That's right, 3 names, everybody. Watch out for the Rasmuses, 71 and 100-1. So that's what we got. First round leaders. This is where we go. Hopefully cash in, Joe, and get that bankroll cooking for the weekend.
There he is.
30-1. Sorry, Joe. There's Tommy Fleetwood, Joe. You got me. Busted. We're in handcuffs. I'm in. Eric Cole's not. No Eric Cole this week and no Steven Yeager. Enough. Tommy Fleetwood, 30-1. Colin Morikawa, 32-1. Mr. Burns at 50-1. Sam Burns. Carver likes him outright, too. Eric Cole, I didn't even think I had Eric Cole. Is that some kind of joke by the Fox department? Anyway, I don't have Eric Cole. That's last week's board. What are these guys doing to me? They're tricking me. Anyway, I do have Fleetwood Morikawa. I'll give you my picks. Fleetwood, Morikawa, Burns at 50, Aaron Rai at 60, Justin Rose at 90, and Laurie Cantor. Is this some guy? Are you guys playing me like a fool? Anyway, that's what I got right there with my golf picks. That was last week's board. Basically, the first 2 are the same as this week. Unreal.
Yeah, well, listen, Cam, from now on, we're always putting Tommy Fleetwood and Eric Cole on every one of your boards and picks for all of the tournaments moving forward here. Now, let me tell you, depending on what happens in this year, are you leaning towards anybody for next week in the future markets for the Open Championship?
I am. I know a lot of people are going to take Robert McIntyre, the Scot, and I did the show basically with Carver today, and he got McIntyre at 30-1, which is a great price. What is Robert McIntyre? He's won a Canadian Open before. He almost won the U.S. Open. Remember, just falling short to J.J. Spaun. He was second in the clubhouse waiting when those rains came in, right, Joe? So your national championship, he's the defending champion too. He beat Rory McIlroy in the Scottish Open before. A lot of people are coming back to him at 30. I like him this week for a top 10, but I really like him next week in the tournament. He has a perfect game for it. Fairways, he gets around, and he's a great putter. That's the one thing about Robert McIntyre. He's a big man with a soft touch, and I think that's very, very important in links golf. So if you can get over 30-1 on McIntyre, and watch out for Sugar Shane Lowry. He's another guy that's done well in the Open Championship before, around 28 to 32-1. Shop around for Shane. I think he'll be very dangerous at the Open Championship. Those are 2 guys that I've already looked at on the card. And Brady Cannon, who's one of the best golfers we have here at SportsGrid, he told me he might even take a flyer with Jason Day at 80-1. And a couple of these old guys like to show up at this event. And you know what? Brady had like crazy picks last week. He had Kevin Roy. Can you believe? Joe, I'm looking at the leaderboard. I'm like, Brady's got Kevin Roy at like 120-1. The guy's on page 1 of the leaderboard. He is a great golf capper. And if he says, take a look at Jason Day, I will take a look at Jason Day and probably add him to the card.
I'm with you with the old guys. What about Adam Scott this week or next week there, Cam? You like him for a top 10 maybe, or maybe a look? I mean, why not, right?
Joe, I do have top 10s and 20s for you. I hope there's not Eric Cole on the board, or else I don't know what these guys are doing to me, but it's pretty funny. Here we go. I got Tommy Fleetwood for a top 10 this week at plus 190, and I got the big Scot Robert McIntyre. Love him next week, but plus 225. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I thought you were pulling my leg with Eric Cole. I don't have him this week. Top 20, Victor Hovland. I think he's rounding into form, Joe. The new equipment, he's starting to play really, really well, and he's plus 140 for a top 20. I have Sam Burns for a top 20 at plus 150. Adam Scott. You asked about the old guys. Adam Scott loves links golf, and he has the perfect demeanor for this type of track. You're going to need patience. If the winds pick up, you can't flip out. Plus 180 with Adam Scott. And the American, all he does is have top 20s. I take a look at Brian Harman's record, Joe. He's a great top 20 bet at plus 260. He's won the Open Championship before. He has a top 10. Watch out for Brian Harman. He keeps it in play. He puts it on the green. And if his putter's hot, he could beat anybody. I think that's a fantastic price for the American from Georgia at plus 260 for a top 20.
Are we fading the Rockies here against the Red Sox coming up?
I love the Red Sox tonight, Joe. Up and away with the total, and I will take them minus 1.5. I even thought about the alternate run line. I will take the Seattle Mariners as a pooch against the Yankees tonight, getting plus 135. And Minnesota, a very, very small underdog tonight. Want to get in front of a falling knife? I do. Give me Minnesota to break the streak tonight. Go Twinkies.
Cam Stewart, Eric Cole, line 2. We'll see you again, Cam. Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
It's too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by, as of course we are getting ready here. A lot of Major League Baseball. The dog days of summer continue here as we got a lot of Major League Baseball. We had some early games today already in the books, including wow, the Dodgers, can you believe it? Off and running on a losing streak as we get a little bit closer to the All-Star break coming up. Another 3-2 win by the Brewers. That is now 6 straight in the L column for the LA Dodgers, and they're just not hitting. And this, of course, extends to not only their on the road here against Milwaukee, but it's also extended to that last set on the way when they were home, too. So not good. Now, the Dodgers will visit the Giants on Friday. Dusty May going against Logan Webb. And if we're being honest, I don't like their chances in that one either, as Logan Webb has been outstanding all year long, especially at home. That is a tough ballpark if you're not hitting. Just don't take the Phillies that, since they dropped a 13 spot on the Giants here today. But that was against Justin Verlander, if we're being honest here. I think collectively, you, me, and maybe 2 other people that are watching can probably score 13 runs and hit Justin Verlander at age 58 and a half that he is right now. However, going to be a big, big weekend series, and we all know the Dodgers and the Giants, the fans. It's a big rivalry coming up this weekend as we get ready for the All-Star break. It'll be here next week. But keep an eye on this Milwaukee Brewers team. My goodness. Jose Quintana struck out 4. He allowed 4 walks, 2 hits, and 1 run in 6 innings. So imagine that. He did a great job of pitching around trouble. But because the Dodgers, and there will be lulls like this in a 162-game season, the question is, are you capitalizing on this losing streak of the Dodgers? Because there's an opportunity, I think, heading into the All-Star break where it's going to be a little difficult for them to maneuver around. Now, they did get their pitcher back here today with Glasnow, which has to be good news. A lot of bullpen action, a lot of bullpen games, a lot of injuries. We saw Kershaw couldn't get the win last night. It was good to see Glasnow back pitching for the Dodgers. He struck out 5, allowed 1 unearned run, rather. He did walk 3, gave up 2 hits, and he went 5 innings. Now, this is his first appearance since April 27th. He had shoulder inflammation, so just as they came out of spring training, he's basically been shelved here. But it was good to see him. The stuff was working. But Milwaukee is just working a little bit better right now. Keep an eye on them Brewers, because there is an opportunity here. That Central Division wide open in the National League. Now, a lot of people will look and say, oh, well, the Cubs should have a good opportunity there in order to maybe distance themselves a little bit. And I would have thought that was very much true maybe a month and a half ago when we got into May, but the injuries, and I am not sold on that Cubs pitching staff at all. Now, the good news is they have an opportunity to go up against David Festa here tonight and the Minnesota Twins, but Minnesota is the pure definition, as far as I'm concerned, of a middling, mediocre baseball team here, although they were able to get a few runs late in that game last night. Imanaga did a great job of trying to keep his team close. It was 2-0 heading into the latter half, I think the 7th inning last night. And then, well, that bullpen of the Cubs got involved, and then the wheels fell off the Cubs. I think they ended up losing 8-0. They have a rookie going here tonight. And David Festa, of course, been up and down. He's played in the KBO. He's been in the minors. He's up here now. His numbers, well, they don't grade out as even a mediocre Major League Baseball pitcher. But the 23-year-old Horton going for the Cubs has actually been pretty good. He's coming off the start of his career. I mean, really go. It ended in a no decision, but he threw 7 scoreless innings in a 1-0 10-inning win over the Guardians on Thursday. He allowed 5 hits. He did walk 2, and he struck out 5. This is going to be his first start against Minnesota. However, kind of like the chances here of the Cubs. Nobody has been better than the Chicago Cubs at bouncing back after a loss than them this year. They have been absolute money. I don't like Festa. I'll give the Chicago Cubs certainly the advantage in the lineup. And I'd even look at a pick'em price here. I'd look at the Cubs, maybe to get out to Festa a little early here. First 5 bet on the Chicago Cubs. But the Cubs are sitting nice, 54 wins to this point in the season, but do not sleep on them Milwaukee Brewers. I think the Brewers are looking pretty good, and a sweep of the mighty LA Dodgers tells you, I think, everything you need to know there. I had mentioned earlier that we had, well, a 3-2 Detroit lead over Tampa. Tampa on the verge of, looks like being swept here as the bats have come out for Detroit, and Tampa has just not hit well in this series. That was, of course, until they got to about the 6th inning, and then the runs came in. It's now a 7-3 Tampa lead over Detroit. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we'll see if Tampa can hold on and get that win. The Yankees often running against Seattle. We have an update there, not to mention the Red Sox at Fenway against Colorado. We'll let you know what's happening there. And we'd mentioned the Cincinnati Reds at home. Jekyll and Hyde, which of these teams shows up tonight? The one that can hit and score, or the one that only gets 1 run or maybe 2 runs? Going up against Sandy Alcantara. We'll let you know what's going on at the Great American Ballpark. More Game Time Decisions coming up next here on the Grid.
I say, you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school? Then?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions on this Wednesday. I'm Joe Raineri. Certainly appreciate you stopping by here as we've got a couple of updates, and we'll start in the Bronx here in Major League Baseball as the Yankees just keep sending runners home. Stanton with a big hit, Bellinger with a big hit, and just like that, we got a couple of runners on, only 1 out for the Yankees in the bottom of the first. They're up 2-0. Already, of course, tonight's big news is that the Yankees are going with their righty rookie Cam Schlittler making his debut. He is one of the Yankees' top pitching prospects. He's got a 6-6 record, a 2.82 ERA in the minors this season. And a lot of guys were very high on him. They weren't quite sure with the injuries why it was that the Yankees were keeping him down, but it's just gotten to the point now with Clark Schmidt being shelved because of Tommy John surgery again, that it's just too much. So the Yankees have called him up. He got out of the top of the first, no problem. But the Yankees, well, they're giving him some runs here right now, and they're looking to add more right now in the bottom of the first inning. But 2 across right now, and we'll keep an eye on this one. Total was 9.5 in this game at the close. Right now, 11.5, maybe even 12 starting to pop up in the marketplace. I do think on a warm summer's evening here, now 3-0 with the Yankees, that might not be a bad look. We mentioned the Marlins, Sandy Alcantara on the mound. He has just been going through it. It has not been great for Alcantara, who is one of really the name we keep hearing when it comes to possible trade deadline acquisitions for teams. Alcantara seems to be the guy that keeps coming up to bolster any sort of playoff team's hopes with a frontline starting pitcher. The problem is he doesn't look like the Alcantara that he was prior to having the surgery. And just like that, Cincinnati is already out 2-0 right now in the bottom of the first over the Marlins, who have been great. Let's face it. I mean, the Marlins have been an exciting team to watch here for the last month, for that matter. However, the Marlins don't hit lefties very well. In fact, most of the quality left-handers that they have faced, they don't often score a whole lot of runs against. So Abbott happens to be now, he was kind of left off the All-Star roster, even though he's having an unbelievable year for the Cincinnati Reds. He is really the de facto ace with Hunter Green being injured and unavailable. Abbott's really stepped into that role of being the ace for the Reds rotation this year. The problem with Abbott, like many of the Reds pitchers, is that they go crazy amounts of games without hitting. They just can't seem to hit. They are next to last over the last month in WRC plus at 46. To give you an idea how bad that is, they are just ahead of the Pirates, who have a WRC plus of 29. They're hitting 189 as a team in the month of July already. I mean, my goodness, the Marlins dropped a 12 spot on them last night. They might have a little harder time against Abbott here, the all-star lefty for the Reds. And right now, Alcantara can't seem to get it going, down 2-0 early in this one. All right, they finished the first in the Bronx. It is now Yankees 3. Seattle coming up in the top of the second inning in that matchup there. So we'll see if Schlittler here, the rookie for the Yankees, can get him 1, 2, 3 in this end of the inning. But plenty of games coming up here tonight, including Mackenzie Gore on the mound for Washington. Will they win a game for their ace pitcher? Palante going for the Cards. That game started very late last night because of a rain delay. Should be good to go here tonight, but I have seen nothing but Cardinals money coming in all day long. Are we fading Mackenzie Gore? And how many runs are we really getting in a Pittsburgh-Kansas City game with two quality lefties on the mound here tonight? These are questions we have. We'll do our best to answer them, and we'll also get you ready for a late-night slate that includes the red-hot Ranger Bats taking on the Angels and Kumar Rocker. Can he get it done? We'll have those answers for you as Game Time Decisions continues on the Grid.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school then?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend, the young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Certainly appreciate the time as we are getting you ready for some late-night Major League Baseball getting ready to take center stage. Couple of games underway right now. The Great American Ballpark, finally, the Reds have figured out how to hit there. They have added another run in the bottom of the first. They were up 3-0. On Miami, and Sandy Alcantara just not doing himself any favors in the trade market, impressing teams here as he is getting lit up once again. The Yankees put up a 3-spot on Seattle in the bottom of the first. They're in the top of the second right now. They're up 3-0. The rookie, I believe Cam Schlittler, is on the mound. And he's getting some good defense behind him, too, which is a rarity for the Yankees. But a 3-0 lead, pretty good for a rookie making his major league debut. Shockingly enough, we have absolutely no score with Boston taking on Colorado. And that usually doesn't last very long here, as Giolito has been really good over the last month. He's looking like the White Sox version of Giolito lately, but in no way, shape, or form do I think he is worth laying $3, which is what you would have had to do here tonight if you wanted to back the Red Sox at home. But no score there, bottom of the second inning. Houston getting ready to take on the Cleveland Guardians, and what has been all of a sudden, the Cleveland Guardians have a 10-game losing streak. Then they come to Houston, who just finished sweeping the Dodgers in L.A., and you're thinking everything is going to go swimmingly, and then, well, hasn't gone well the last couple of games. In fact, the Guardians beat up Hunter Brown last night, only to come back, tie the game up at 6 apiece, and then it goes to extra innings. And who better to close out a game for you than, well, the best in Major League Baseball, and Josh Hader, your best closer. Yeah, that didn't work out last night. I got a grand slam by the Guardians to win another one. Now tonight, they've got their lefty Brandon Walter going on the mound. Now, Brandon Walter allowed 2 runs in 6 innings on June 6th when they took on the Cleveland Guardians. the reality is you can say whatever you want there about the Guardians finally, having a couple of wins together, and it's been good, but they have been awful against lefties, especially over the last month. Cleveland also has a pretty taxed out bullpen right now. Most of their top leverage guys might not be there to save Slade Ciccone here tonight if he gets into trouble. Outside of Josh Hader, the Houston bullpen, still one of the top 10 best in Major League Baseball, should have more than enough to avoid the sweep here. Pretty decent price here for them. I do like the Houston Astros, and I like them early as well, maybe even in the first 5 innings. But then you got the Texas Rangers coming up here tonight. They are out in Anaheim, and boy, did the bats get going for them last night. I think they put up, a 13 spot, 13-1 was that game last night. And they have finally started to hit the ball here a little bit, which is good news if they can get to the break. And I think a lot of that has to do with Corey Seager actually getting it done. Now, we were on In-Game Live last night with Scotty Wetzel, and we told you, love that Corey Seager home run prop. He's got a great history against Soriano, and sure enough, he went 2 for 3 with a walk. He had a solo home run and actually a couple of runs scored. So as Corey Seager goes, this lineup goes for the Texas Rangers, and how Kyle Hendricks is actually still in Major League Baseball is beyond me. But Kumar Rocker, who quietly has actually been pretty decent over his last couple of starts, he goes for Texas, but we have seen nothing but Angels money hit the marketplace as we seen Texas open up -130 overnight as a road favorite. In some spots, I'm seeing the Angels as the favorite. So there has been a pretty good line move here, sizable line move on the home team here with the Angels and Kyle Hendricks. I can't imagine trying to sweat out an under in this game. I think either way, we're getting runs. 9.5 is the total. I would not be shocked if we have a 7-5, 7-4 kind of game coming our way here tonight. So I have no problem. Both of these teams more than capable of scoring some runs here on a July summer's night there. With the Angels and the Texas Rangers. And then you've got, a pretty good pitchers battle coming up tonight between, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but the Pittsburgh Pirates getting ready to take on the Kansas City Royals. And of course, the Royals handled their business again last night. You got to give them credit as the Royals are doing everything in their power to try and stay as relevant as possible in the Central, which is not easy to do given the fact of the way the Detroit Tigers have been playing. But we've got 2 guys that have pitched really, really well. The Pirates are definitely going to be sellers at the trade deadline. Bailey Falter is getting a lot of interest. That name keeps coming up a lot. Teams are very much interested with the way that he has been pitching this season, and he has been good. Him and Mitch Keller have been very good. The problem is the Pittsburgh Pirates don't hit. They don't give any run support to any of their pitchers, so their records would say otherwise. But I think it's a pretty good audition here tonight for Bailey Falter, and let's face it, the Kansas City Royals aren't exactly going to hit you out of the ballpark. Decent numbers here for him tonight playing for Pittsburgh. I think Kansas City much better against righties than lefties. They have not historically this season been great at scoring runs at home. They average only around 3 runs at home all season long. This is not an offensive juggernaut with Kansas City. And Bubic, well, he's already on his way to the All-Star game. Great first half of the season, 2.36 ERA. I'd be hard-pressed to look to sweat an over. Even though it's hot at Kauffman Stadium, balls tend to fly out during the summertime in Kansas City. But I think both of these lefties are more than capable of keeping the other lineups in check. We had a 4-3 game last night. That was in extra innings that Pittsburgh ended up losing that one after they lost the first game of the series 9-3. I think an under 4.5 might not be a bad look in the first 5 if you can get it, as both these pitchers are better than what the lineups bring. And then, of course, you've got the dreaded late night game, which is going to focus on the just disgustingness of the Atlanta Braves, who kept rolling out Fuentes last night, the 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid who clearly doesn't belong in Major League Baseball. But because of all the injuries, well, they didn't have any choice. And before they knew it, they were down 10-0 in the second inning in that game last night. They have now lost 5 straight and 10 of their last 12. We now have Bryce Elder, who, again, is not a Major League Baseball quality pitcher. He's allowed 22 earned runs over his last 4 starts. Oh, yeah, and on the season, he's got over a 7 ERA. This is not good. I like the pitching edge with Spence here for the Athletics. I think the Athletic bats get to Bryce Elder way before the lackluster Atlanta team gets to Mitch Spence here tonight. I'm taking the Athletics in the first 5. And yes, you better hurry up and bet the over if you can get 10, 10.5, because 11 will be there by the time the first pitch comes. So give me the Athletics in the first 5 to get it done. We have an update on the scoreboard as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school then?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
It'd be like 80 times. It'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on this Wednesday in the SportsGrid Network, and we've got updates all around the scoreboard here as the Yankees keep putting runners on base, still up 3-0, top of the third in that one against Seattle. Colorado and Boston. Boston has finally scored. It is 1-0 there in the top of the third. We're just underway with the Cubs and the Twins, as well as Pittsburgh and Kansas City. In fact, all of those games you can follow along with on In Game Live coming up top of the hour with our next guest. Our good friend Scotty Wetzel will be taking over at the top of the hour there. And Scotty, you and I did In Game Live last night. Pretty profitable night here. I think tonight should be also pretty profitable if you do just one thing, and that's fade the Atlanta Braves as much as you can until the All-Star break. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. The 8-0 last night after the first inning. I mean, you talk about an easy winner, boy. If Brian Snicker, manager, I wouldn't be buying any houses down in Atlanta. They are just falling apart. Season low, 11 games under 500. I heard you talking before their last break there. You're right. This has got another loss written all over it. The A's actually at least halfway decent at home. But really, it's an anti-Atlanta play, Joe. I mean, you got to go with the A's. You want to go with the over as well. I get that. Maybe a Braves. The only thing is, I'll say the A's, they lost the shortstop there. He got hurt last night. He got plunked by a pitch. So, Jacob Wilson. So, he's not going to be in the lineup for the A's. But that wouldn't stop me from betting against Atlanta. They're a train wreck right now.
Yeah, especially in the first 5, and you're throwing out Bryce Elder, who could give up 5 home runs like Fuentes did last night. But your Red Sox underway. I'm kind of shocked they only have 1 run on the board, but my goodness, Giolito has been really starting to round into form for them, hasn't he?
Yeah, believe it or not, I wasn't a big fan of the signing last year, coming off the arm surgery and everything else. Didn't have him last season, but now he's actually done well. So, you can't bet the -1.5 now. You still got to lay over 5-1 on that, like I was going to do at the start of the game. But you can take Red Sox team total over, Joe, over 5.5. It's not a bad number. It's only the 3rd inning. They got plenty of bats left. They've been averaging 8 runs a game in this streak here, 8-2 their last 10 games. So they're going to win, I think. And like I said, they're averaging 8 runs a game. So go over 5.5. That's still a low total for me at Fenway Park, the way they're hitting. Red Sox team total. Where they go.
Yeah, no, it's I like it. Giolito over on his K prop might not be a bad look either. Right. The way he has been rolling here. But we are just underway. This one seemed too easy, although I don't know why it was stuck. 8.5 with Pittsburgh and Kansas City is the total, with 2 of the better lefties on the mound for them. What am I missing with this total here, Scott?
Yeah, I don't know, Joe. I told you yesterday when we did the show together, right? I had the under 9 on Monday. That thing sailed over. I didn't play it last night. It goes under. So right back to the well we go. I'm going to go under again, 8.5. You got the number 2 under team in all of baseball in Kansas City. 20 more unders than overs. You got number 4 under team in Pittsburgh, 14 more unders. You mentioned it, 2 lefties. Bubik's actually really good for Kansas City especially. So 8.5. I don't know how they get to 9. I really don't. I don't know how they got to 9 on Monday, but they did. So you'd be a little careful with this. But I do like the under 8.5 Pittsburgh at Kansas City tonight.
Yeah, like that one a lot here. Listen, if Sandy Alcantara is looking to get out of Miami and hoping teams will trade for him, he's going to have to look better than what he's doing now. What do we got? A 3-0 lead already, Cincinnati with Abbott on the mound. What were you thinking in this one? Cincinnati all day?
I was. I was kind of hoping the same thing with the Red Sox. I was hoping by the time we got on, it'd still be a scoreless game. We'd be able to get these bets in under the normal lines, but obviously 3-0. Yeah. He had a stretch there, Joe Alcantara, of a couple of games where it looked like he was regaining his form. Then he's gotten blasted his last 2. I don't know what's going on with Sandy, but clearly he's not back from the arm injuries, the surgery that he had. It may take him a year or so. But, I'd still lay Cincinnati. Again, grab the team total, get it at 6.5. They already got 3 on the board. I don't want to lay 3.5 runs or 4.5 runs, anything like that, or even 2.5 heavily juiced. Go with the team total. It's another way to attack these things when they're already underway. Cincinnati, either 5.5 or 6.5. 5.5 if you want to lay a little juice, 6.5 if you don't. Either way, I think they get to 7 tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind that. They're just underway, by the way, St. Louis. That game got delayed last night, but they've got Mackenzie Gore on the mound, Washington, tonight versus Palante. He doesn't strike out a ton of guys. A lot of balls in play with him. How did you approach this game? Was it props or sides?
Yeah, I'm going to go props. I'll go under Palante. It's about 50-50 on him getting 4 strikeouts. You think about 4 strikeouts, everyone gets 4 strikeouts, right? You know what? Only 8 and 9. So for that, I'm going to go under. I don't think he gets the 4. For whatever reason, as bad as Washington has been, Joe, over the last couple of seasons, they're actually one of the better non-strikeout teams in all of baseball. They get the bat on the ball. So... hoping for maybe a little rain delay or something. Maybe Palante doesn't go. Maybe we get a little delay like we got last night. So either way, I don't think he gets 4 strikeouts. Let's go under 3.5. Like you said, more times than not, he has not gotten 4 strikeouts. And you got a halfway decent contact team he's facing in Washington.
So you'll talk more about this coming up during in-game live. But, the outs prop, sometimes it's kind of head scratching with some of these numbers in the marketplace, but I think we're all on the same page that we don't trust Bryce Elder. What was his outs prop here tonight?
16.5, Joe.
What?
Boy, I tell you what, that is like, he's only done that one time in his last 6 starts. You mentioned he's been awful lately. He's not good anyway, but he's been awful especially. And only one time in 6 starts, 1 in 5. And now he's out in Sacramento where Topeka High could put 10 runs on the board. I don't know how he pitches past 5 innings, even if he gets to 5, to tell you the truth. So 16.5 outs, he'd have to go 5 2/3 innings. I don't see it tonight out of Elder.
I am so with you there. I do not see it either, Scotty. I think that's a good one. Bubic should go over the 17.5 outs here tonight. Give the bullpen a rest. But the good news, Scotty, is you'll cover it all. Top of the hour, and we'll close it out as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Dude. Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So we're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in. Here we go. Game Time Decisions on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Good news is we got plenty still coming up here for you tonight. A lot of great Major League Baseball action still to go here. Some of these late night games going to be pretty interesting, including Arizona at San Diego here tonight. Good one last night. Nice pitchers battle, 1-0, as both teams struggled to put the bat on the ball and generate any offense. And that should not come as that much of a shock for the Padres, as they've had some difficulty putting runs on the board. But we got another pretty good pitching battle here tonight. Dylan Cease, who is trying to turn it around. He has not been the Dylan Cease of old so far this year, but he's certainly been serviceable, taking on Brendan Pfaadt of Arizona, who, well, he's better pitching in Arizona than he has been on the road. But that total still hovering around 7.5 last night. If you think the bats are going to wake up tonight, I don't think so. I think we've got an under again here tonight with these two pitchers and these two lineups. And San Diego's been doing nothing but taking money. They're up to about minus 155, 160 right now. So Dylan Cease against Brendan Pfaadt is one of them. And then, of course, you got Texas getting ready to take on the LA Angels. And that line is flipped in some spots. So it looks like, yeah, we're getting a lot of Angels love and fading Kumar Rock. I'd be careful with that. I think Kumar's actually figured some things out. Not like Jazz Chisholm has actually figured out for the Yankees, as he just hits another home run. The guy has been on absolute fire for the Yankees, and hitting is contagious. And judging by how many runs the Yankees have been able to score here so far in this series, they dropped a big one last night, 10 runs. They've got 4 on the board already. They're in the bottom of the third. It is 4-1. Yankees on top in that one. Boston still 1-0 over Colorado, although you just heard from Scott Wetzel there telling you in game, maybe the Boston team total over 5.5, not a bad look. The total for the game is 6.5, by the way. It's dropped down to 6.5. They're in the top of the fourth. Sensatella is on the mound for Colorado. And yeah, no. In-game total 6.5 right now. It closed at 9. It'll be interesting to see if you can get that Boston team total maybe at a lower price. But I definitely think Boston has got some runs coming at some point in the game here. Minnesota has taken advantage of Cade Horton, the rookie of the Cubs. Ends up hitting the first batter he faces, gets all the way to third. We got a single here now that has put Minnesota up 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning there. And shocker, top of the second, we don't have a run on the board with Pittsburgh and Kansas City. That should not come as a shock to many people, as two very good lefties on a mound and two very average, subpar average hitting teams right now with Pittsburgh and Kansas City. And of course, my favorite tonight is going to be looking to fade Atlanta once again and fade Bryce Elder. I'm only going to do it in the first 5. Atlanta has lost 5 straight, 10 of their last 12. I like Mitch Spence. I think he's pitched much better. Plus, Atlanta, who are they hitting? They can't seem to score runs against anybody. It has been an absolute disappointment. Acuna back in the lineup here tonight, although I don't think it would have mattered whether he was in the lineup or not last night, as when you're down 10-0 in the second inning, it makes it very difficult to be able to get back into it. Body language tells me a lot. If you watch the Braves play right now, they can't wait for the All-Star break here to try and regroup. Not good there. I like Atlanta to get to Bryce Elder in the first 5 there. So plenty of Major League Baseball action still to go here tonight. We've got, of course, what's shaping up to be a pretty good Wimbledon semifinal and possible final here. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll have you covered all throughout the week and the weekend here, as that final will begin on Saturday. And we have a very special edition of In Game Live to cover the Wimbledon final for you beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. But you don't have to wait for an In Game Live. It's coming up next. We've got Game Time Decisions tomorrow night. We'll see you again then. Enjoy the games on the grid.